fields to something black and sweet with rot. And still she filled my bowl and said that hers was all she'd got. I never saw her eat what little we could save. I thought that she was saving it, I thought that she was brave. I didn't know the word for what she carried in her chest was hunger dressed as patience, love disguised as rest. They say the ships took grain away while we starved along the shore. They say the landlord's cattle crossed the water by the score. And she stood in that doorway with an empty wooden bowl and gave away the only thing that might have kept her whole. Her share was always mine before I even knew to ask. She carried it in silence like an ordinary task. I thought that she was fine because she told me she was fine. I never knew her share of hunger was the price of mine. She never raised her voice about the things she didn't get. She only raised the bowl to me and never spoke regret for what was missing night by night from her side of the plate. Her share was always mine, and I found out too late. I found a name years later where the parish records end. Fever was the word they used, the neatness of a pen. But fever doesn't hollow out a woman in a year. Hunger has a quieter name that no one wrote down here. The neighbor woman told me 40 years too late to mend it. My mother gave a bowl away and smiled as if she'd meant it. She said she wasn't hungry, God, she said it with a smile, so I could eat the last of it and never taste the lie. Now I understand the silence in that narrow kitchen air. Now I understand the reason for the emptiness she'd wear. She wasn't saving supper, she was saving me instead. One more year, one more winter on the crust she called a bride. Her share was always mine before I even knew to ask. She carried it in silence like an ordinary task. I thought that she was fine because she told me she was fine. I never knew her share of hunger was the price of mine. She never raised her voice about the things she didn't get. She only raised the bowl to me and never spoke regret for what was missing night by night from her side of the plate. Her share was always mine, and I found out too late. I found her wedding ring still knotted in a cloth, too loose upon her finger by the time that we were lost. She'd sold everything but this, kept it beneath the floor, not for its weight in silver, but for what it still swore. Whatever I have left is yours before it's mine. And I have fed my children first every day since.